here and there, and LinkedIn and Twitter and Twitch, and we are live in Clubhouse too. And can you believe it is already, well, let me just do it for those that can actually see me. There you go. It's December, guys. It's December. And I've got a real Christmas jumper on now. I'm going to have to get taller. I can hardly fit in this micro. There we are. I'll tell you what I could do. I could do that. There you go. There we are. And we have got the, can't even see the antlers. It's this background thing, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe I should just look like an ethereal reindeer. Almost a reindeer. Nearly a reindeer, but not quite. Good morning, Alexia. I am nearly a reindeer, but not quite today. And we're live on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and LinkedIn, which I'm not sure really that LinkedIn is really very reindeery, but it is now. So there we are, LinkedIn. Good morning. You are welcome to have a semi-reindeer in your feed. And to be honest, I'm glad I'm there. So we are here in MJ's house, and we're here on a Monday morning at 6 o'clock, bright and early, before everybody else gets up. Shh, don't tell anyone, but this is what morning looks like. So for those of you that have just awoken this dark December morning, you will notice actually that it's December. Yeah, we're only 23 days away from Christmas. That's all we are, 23 days away. Can you believe it's just over 3 weeks? And I realise I get a little bit excited about it, but I've been doing a 55-day Christmas jumper challenge for inclusion.gg. That's what I've been doing. I've been wearing a different jumper every day to do with Christmas, or a dress, or a t-shirt you'll see at halfway point. Full flipping heck, everybody's woken up at 6 o'clock. My phone's pinging, the door's going, the carer's bringing in the milk. It's just, yeah, we've got everything going on now. And this is why I get up super early. I get up super early because then I can get shit done before everybody else has got out of bed. My carer gets here at 6. My staff begin at 5 a.m. And I begin at 4. So, but I'm in bed by 9. So this is how we roll. So for those of you that are just opening up your eyes, good morning. I hope you had a good sleep. I hope it was a snuggly one. I hope you were warm enough. I hope you've woken up, you've been to the loo, and if you haven't, come on, let's get it sorted. Better out than in, and get some water down you. Yeah, water first thing. That's the first thing should be in your mouth. That or oil, apparently. Yeah, look up that one. I don't know, it's a new one to me. But I know a friend who suggests that. That's the best thing to have in your mouth at the first thing. And I actually take black seed oil, which is interesting. And it's one of the antioxidants that helps make my skin look this young. I don't actually look 284,000. Hey, James, yet. So yeah, black seed oil and then water. And then I'll be honest, I wait a while now before I have a coffee. I have a collagen. I have a collagen milk drink, like a baby. It's like malted milk, but nicer. And it makes you look younger again. I've got no idea why when we get to half-life, halfway through life, half-life, I am a half-life. When we get halfway through life that we then decide to try not to look like we've got halfway through life. It's a very interesting thing, but I won't shove things in my face. Well, apart from liquid collagen as I drink it, but I mean, I won't like have injections and things. Maybe later I will. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that halfway through my life, the most I've gone to is drink a lot of water and take some liquid collagen in your milk. A little bit like a baby, but it's just like malted milk and it's caramel flavored. I'm going to be selling it in the shop, I'll tell you. I only try these things so I can see if we can share them out. So our place at Mermaid Key is going to be opening very soon, and I'm looking at the moment at fitting out a shop. I've never fitted out a not coffee shop. I've fitted out a very small office in Scarborough with a settee and a desk and access to work and a lift and some bits, and there was people upstairs, and then we had another building, but I haven't actually fitted out I don't know, proper shop on the high street, doing push things. not on of just a few pennies. So it's exciting, but it's also a bit scary. But in order that I can meet the intention that I have, which is to become a social worker, nearly there, had a little bit of a glitch. I open up a shop, share products for inclusion. There's many people here today that are part of inclusion. And for us to really begin now to lift up our voices. And today I want to talk to us about how we lift marginalized voices, because to be honest, I think that there's a bit of a deal needed in order to do that. To be honest, I'm just going to look for the notes that I made. 1 second, I can't type. There we are. No, I literally can't type. And I love it when I lose something. Because it means that I have to wait and tell you I'm doing something else. Here we go. So the first thing is that we've got to create allies in order that we can lift our own voices, but in order that the voices that we're lifting reflect society. Well, if society is going to reflect society, it needs to include everyone from society. Now, that's just not happening, okay? White, male, stale, middle class, they're the people that are in our Senate here in Wales. That's the Welsh Devolved Government. There are a few women, not many. They're relatively older than some other women, and the rest of them are very older men with attitudes such as just last year, oh, how did we get all these special educational needs kids? There weren't as many in my school when I was a lad. Well, no, mate, that's because you hid them away in a different school, on a different road with a different playground, and you didn't include them. So you didn't see them because they were taken away from your eyes, so you didn't have to experience them. Please don't talk to me about the fact that there's more around now, because that's called the Equality Act, and we've had it since the 80s, and that was a long time ago. So, and also even the act of 2010 is still 15 years ago now. So I would say that the first thing we've got to do is create allies of ourselves. I'm going to say that again, of ourselves. Like, be an ally to yourself. Don't be saying daft things like there isn't as many, or there is more than there used to be, or oh, isn't it nice to see a blind person out? Or, oh, I've got one of those. Or what? I've got a trans friend. Look, I just think you need to be an ally to yourself. And I'm probably being a bit mean now on Monday morning, but an ally to yourself for just thinking about what you're saying. And maybe even if what comes up in you when you think about somebody that's black, I mean, God forbid, or somebody that's, I don't know, trans or queer, or a woman, and if you're a man, or disabled if you're not, or old if you're young, or vice versa, young people if you're old, just have a little think about allyship to yourself and other people. Because I reckon if you were, I don't know, in town doing a carol service and there were all those people around you, you'd be like, I can tolerate this, because you knew we were just having a song and then going home, right? Apply that level of tolerance to the rest of your life, and I think you'll find that you'll be an ally to yourself. So I would say this motivational Monday, motivating us into December, when we're at that time of year, whether you like it or not. I'm wearing reindeer ears, and I've got a reindeer jumper on, and I've been wearing Christmas jumpers for 31 days now, just to ring it home that actually this time of year we're meant to be a bit kinder. So let's be kind to ourselves and not say silly things. Let's be kinder to ourselves and not do silly things like ignore people. Do you know that 35% of disabled women say that when they're at work, they're completely ignored? I mean, let's face it, not many of them go to work because they haven't got any jobs, because nobody will give them one. But if they are at work, yeah, 35% of it, I think that's, you don't quote me on it, but loads of them say they're ignored, just completely ignored. What? So I'm sorry, I'm just flabbergasted by that. I am literally gobsmacked. So, and I did make a couple of comments on social media about people being mean this weekend because I read some of the haters' comments on some people's feeds, and I'm like, mate, how does that man having a tattoo affect you? Apart from he's showing you that he's got one, either like it and tell him, or don't like it and move on. You have a literal choice. Who are you and what playground do you come from that you're writing something out loud about how you cannot tolerate the sight of this person's tattoo, which clearly you decided to watch? Anyway, that's just me. I think that we need to create a space for ourselves. That's the first thing. Because when we talk about allyship, people are like, yes, yes, we need to join together and lift the voices of those poor, marginalized, blind, and deaf and disabled people. No. How about we do it the other way around? Because it's not worked. Yeah. The Disability Discrimination Act was about 40 million years ago, 40 something, right? We've been not putting learning disabled people in massive cupboards for like ages now, nearly half a century, and all the genders are allowed, like they are, like we are, every gender that you can think of. You can be a million billion of them. There's loads. You can be non-binary femme. I've just heard, which you can. It means that you don't identify as a gender construct, and that you do look femme, which is not female necessarily, right? So there we are. You can. So let's just try and learn. And believe me, I struggled with all of the things. Even my own disability, I didn't know I was disabled. Nobody told me. So when I was told I was disabled, it was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. I just thought everybody had stuff to deal with. So when we create allyship, I want us to create it for ourselves first, because we're the ones that are oppressing other people. So if we fix us, we'll probably stop the oppression. Right. Does that make sense? So I'd like us to look for the space within ourselves. And if you think that you could have a sing song with a load of people that aren't like you and tolerate it, just apply that to the rest of your life for the rest of the month. Just for December, like Movember and no alcohol January or whatever, dry January. Just try for December and no bias December. That doesn't work, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Just decide for December to be allies to yourselves and each other. And in this Christmas period, which is what it is, look, I've got reindeer ears on. It definitely is. You can be a bit kinder. And what does that take? Well, it might take a bit of listening. We talked about that last week, didn't we? Listening to the power of stories. And I've listened back to that room and it was powerful. It's the first room I've ever listened back to because I'll be honest, I was too traumatized by my own difficulties, and I was in denial about the fact that I'm a public speaker. But now I've realised I am. Actually, it took my solicitor to say, "You were really good at Sharda, MJ. You're a public speaker," for me to believe it. Now, where that came from, I've got no idea. But I listened back, and I've definitely decided that I have some sort of gift to be able to see things from a different perspective. I think it might be because I'm diagnosed neurodivergent, but it also might be because I've done an awful lot of learning over an awful lot of years through some really difficult stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just tell you my way what I think we can do to help inclusion happen and be motivated for this week, lead ourselves into Christmas, into the Advent period, when it's a time of reflection, a time of solidifying who and what and how we are, of working out what our values are and deciding what we want to take forward into 2025 and what we want to put the hell down. You've got ages. 23 days until it's Jesus's birthday. And if you choose to use that day as some day when everybody else seems to stop, and you can just decide to put down some stuff that you've probably not really thought about before, that you might not need to take into 2025, well, let's build up to it. Let's start off by pretending we're all having a sing-song in town, singing, oh, whatever, little town of Bethlehem, with a load of different people that aren't like us, and we're having a good time because we're together and we don't care about our difference. How about we do that just for December? So I think that's a step towards our own allyship, a step towards ourselves, and a step towards people being able to talk about what their needs are. Because if we're accommodating everybody in a little bit more mindful way, we might ask how we can help that individual be included. You know, over the next few weeks, people are going to be having events, and there's going to be places and spaces where there's only one place for a disabled person to go and watch out of an entire theatre. It can be that there are hardly any seats, and that actually you've got to book things months in advance if you're going to get anywhere. So there'll be a lot of disabled people who might realise it's Christmas and they might not have anywhere to go because they may not be able to book anywhere. So be thinking about your neighbours and be thinking about yourself as an organisation, about maybe if you do provide things for people. And I was in a great place the other day. We've had an event there and their lift doesn't work for about 18 months. And I explained that it was hard because I wanted to see the paintings upstairs. And we need to look for ways that we can work together to make those spaces more accessible. When we are lifting marginalised voices, our own, organisations play a massive part in nailing their colours to the mast, both with what they do and what they say and how they behave, and in the ways that they foster inclusive processes and inclusive spaces. And then we have to talk about each other. So people that lead need to lead from the back. People that need to put the voices of their customers, of their allyship, of their harass, of their family, of those they identify with, and of those that they don't, before their own. Working out if you've got a seat at the table is instant if you're white and middle class and you've always had a privilege. You have. The rest of us, you might have to grapple with the idea that some of us might not have ever had a chance, such as being first in the family that goes to university. That's a big thing, guys. You might assume that everybody knows what university is about, but some families, they haven't got a clue. So being first in the family is a new thing. It might be that that person has never had a job. We've had individuals that have worked with our organisation that got to 44 and hadn't had a job before. Can't assume. So when we're lifting each other's voices, we need to get into conversation and tell each other stories. Like I said on Saturday, storytelling is powerful, powerful. And if you haven't listened back to Belonging in Business on Saturday, I would suggest you do, because to be honest, it was powerful. And if you hear the other people's voices and the things they had to say and the poetry that was shared, that's powerful, absolutely outstandingly powerful. So go and listen. We need more personal agency than just asking each other if we're okay. Because what's the first thing we say? Yeah, we're okay, thanks. Well, we're not necessarily. So let's use as many ways as we can to find out if we're okay. One of the ways that I've encouraged is if people want to talk to me and they're feeling low, and they say, well, you're always busy. So well, do me a favor, be a bit clearer. Don't just write, hiya MJ, how are you? Hard for me to discern what it is you want from that. But if you say, have you got 7 minutes? I'll know that it takes 7 minutes for us to be heard and validated and seen when we're in our most crisis situation. So if you tell me that you need 7 minutes, I'll make sure that I manipulate my time to make a call happen to you about something that you are massively struggling with. We just need to be intentional and clear and connect in order that actually we can speak up. And then if somebody does speak up to you about being bullied or harassed or marginalized, encourage them by creating a safe environment by which they can share what's going on. And whether that is one-to-one or in a group like here, for people to feel that they can, say that they've just got dressed, Alexia, or talk about getting the bus and going off in a minute, or whatever else it is that's going on, or having the carer walk through the door and say good morning. Try and create for yourself now safe environments where you feel you can speak, because we know that when they don't share, when they can't share who and what and how they are, they get poorly. That's if you want the truth, go and look at work by Gabor Mate. We get poorly by not expressing ourselves, by not speaking our stories. So find spaces and places where you can. Now, last night, there was an event at Chapter. There's one every month where people go and share their stories, but I didn't feel too clever last night. I'd had quite a tough day, and I decided against the first one being last night. But I'm going in January. That's my change. That's my shift. That's my step change towards having an opportunity where it's not about work and it's not about service. It's just about sharing and about me. And I'm going to do that from January. And I've made that decision, but it's going to take me about a month to get used to the idea of driving in the dark, driving back in the dark, and going to Chapter and meeting new people. But they are spaces where we are not fearful of the consequences, but grateful to be able to share. And that means we've got to use, the right language. If your pronouns are they, them, he, she, and her, and him, fantastic, please share that because I want to get it right. If you identify as disabled and you want to be known as somebody with disabilities as opposed to a disabled person, then tell me, and then I will try and respect how you wish to be referred. Some people refer to themselves in the first person or the third person. Name themselves. It's up to you. I think that when we engage in a way that allows everyone to have an opportunity to be who they are. And the Christmas jumper challenge is also part of that, guys. I'm testing myself to wear a different Christmas jumper for 55 days. I'm also testing my social media commitment skills to doing something for 55 days out loud and proud, forcing me to be accountable. But at the same time, over those 55 days, I've had to go out of my comfort zone to dress and be and behave in ways that is different to the rest of the crowd so that I can resolve my own unconscious bias about my own, in inverted commas, silly behavior or not always working or any other narrative that I've got going on. These are the ways that I am healing myself and showing you that you can too. I think that when we do this, we're going to hear every voice. And that makes, I just think, a better world for being able to have a better time. We're not far off the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club that we began here in these rooms. And these recordings are becoming, well, I think, groundbreaking in that there's going to be so much material for space for people to learn about really important things, that it's a bit like creating a library before you open it, which I guess would be the right way around of doing it, because if you open a library without any books, you're going to be scuppered. I'm grateful to you all for being here, and on this Monday, it's not been the easiest weekend. I wasn't wanting to head into Monday the 2nd of December, I'll be honest. I wanted to stay in my bed, but because I have to be here and I have carved out my work schedule, and I also have things to get on with outside of that and a couple of appointments to attend as well. Well, that just motivates me to get on with it, whether or not I feel like it, because when the hell has how I felt about anything got to do with anything I've ever done? Actually, it hasn't, or I wouldn't have got through being intubated, and I probably wouldn't have got through childbirth, because I'm not being funny. Once you decide to have a baby, then you're like, now I've got to get it out. Just saying. I realise that I am in a group of others that probably don't know what that's like, but there we are. So good morning. It's Motivational Monday. For those on other forms of social media, my apologies for not looking up quite so often as I should to you, but it's great to have you here. Please do make comment if you wish in the chat. I think I finally got it connected. I'm sorry for those people that have chatted and sent messages and I've not actually replied, because sometimes I see them and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I've come across a load all at once and I think, oh, it's been 3 months, I can't really reply to this. And then sometimes I think, well, I'm going to anyway. So I apologise, I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not. 4 years ago, I didn't even know how to use Facebook, really. And we're live on 5 platforms at the same time. And it's being saved on the YouTube channel. So you can always go to the YouTube channel and watch hundreds of hours of footage there if that's what you fancy. And people do. It amazes me that people listen and then they come back to me with great questions, although a lot of them do hide themselves from Clubhouse, I'm just saying. They come in, they listen, they go on replay, and then they hide themselves and then tell me that they've done that when they message me. Very interesting. Always fascinated me why you'd be worried about whatever you got to listen to. But I guess if you see some of the rooms that are on this clubhouse, then maybe you do want to hide those rooms, and maybe I can see why. I just don't know why Motivational Monday would be one that you'd hide from. And if you weren't here Saturday, then just do, because honestly, it's powerful. We were talking about telling stories, and today, lifting our voices, and that starts with you. So in summary, then, I would say that allyship begins with making a space in your heart, in your opportunity for acting like you're in a, well, one of those get-togethers at Christmas where everybody sings carols and smiles at each other, because actually we're not going to be with them forever, so it's all right whoever's there, if they like us or they're not. Try and afford that same sense to the rest of your month right here, right now, and I think your life will change. I do think that unconscious bias is something that we can learn out of, just like racism and sexism and any ism that you can think of. I think we can learn out of it. And I think we learn into it. We weren't made it, we learn it. And I think we can learn out of it. So this December, I would say, as you enter this Monday, let go of some of those assumptions, presumptions, decisions, and then check out what the hell you're thinking about when you're thinking those things. Just go, where did that come from? Because, thoughts aren't facts. And thoughts do create feelings, but you can create other feelings by having other thoughts. And I would just say that allyship and lifting our voices together, literally in a choir or a sing song, or metaphorically, as we stop judging each other, might just lead us to Jesus's birthday, whether you celebrate that or not. I'm just saying that it's a good time for contemplation, for letting yourself know what you're going to let go of this year. Because, we can't keep everything. I bought loads of new clothes because I got a bit thinner. I can't keep everything. I've got to give some to our Fran, because it's not right. You can't keep everything. So I'm going to use this Christmas to be fairly quiet. I think a lot of people are doing that. Put down some of the baggage that maybe I picked up along the way when I wasn't really noticing what was happening all the time. So we are literally coming up the past, and I usually talk for about 30 minutes. So I'm grateful to everybody for listening to lifting our voices together. I'd like to know what you think about any of the above. The fact that it's Christmas, the fact that I'm wearing reindeer antlers, the fact that we're on social media everywhere all the time, the fact that we are gaining momentum and our social media performance is up for something like 435%, something crazy like that, which shows the power of repetition. I heard some stats last week in a meeting and I thought, oh, that's me, which was interesting. It just shows that doing something every day might just lead to a change. And I think that can happen with all forms of unconscious and conscious bias. And I welcome every moment that we choose to do that for this coming month. And I hope you're all excited about Christmas, because I am. And we are on 32 jumpers today. And I'm wearing this one all day. Now it's Monday, December the 2nd. I'm just going to wear the jumper all the day. And then I'm not wearing the jumper, taking the jumper off and putting a different outfit on. Very strange that I did that in November, just because I was unconsciously biased against my own Advent adventure. But now I'm not. I've got used to it. And it's December, so it's more acceptable. Alexia, good morning, good morning, good morning. We've got so many people on the stage. I'm so excited, and we've got half an hour yet. Yay! Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Caught me on the way up the stairs to put the blog out.
I caught you. I caught you just as you were blogging.
Yeah, well, you know me. I like to be awkward.
Me too. Me too.
James is here safely. Giving him training lessons
Nice.
in how to play ball. He's brought her a mat. She's got a cushion. So I said he needs to get a photograph of what he's brought for her. She's not exactly spoiled, that dog. She's got a mat he's brought with him for her, with I'm the boss on it, with Paul marks on it, and a cushion with dogs on it. And she likes it. She's taken to sit on it.
Nice. That's exciting. I love Christmas.
I'm in a very mood like Christmas this year. I'm normally very excited about it, but I I can't think of the right word. I'm not depressed about it. It's not the right word. I'm just not in there yet this year. I don't know. Maybe it's to do with the way things are.
Yeah.
The feel of things. But I just haven't quite got my head around it this year. And I do normally like Christmas because Daniel's kids are chasing me to already get Christmas decorations up. And I said, no, you're not doing it till December. Well, they'll be around next weekend. Well, when are we doing it then?
Mine are up. Mine are up. I've got an advent calendar with candles, and today it's black cherry, and yesterday it was pine forest. And I know it sounds indulgent, but do you know what? When I pique my senses, when I invest in treating my skin nice and sleeping in comfortable bedding and drinking drinks like my collagen drink that I've just found that I enjoy. It reminds me of malted milk as a child, and do things that smell nice and ritualistic as well. So, you know, my altar, praying at my altar, and burning sage and all those things, ritualistic. It lifts my spirits, every single action. And it actually began with a lady in Clubhouse. It was Diane, actually, that contacted me one day and said, you sound really down. She said, just get some sage and you know, around you, and just get rid of the energy that's hanging around you, because you can. You've got a choice.
For me,
water in the bath.
Water.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have a bath.
If
Have
I
a bath.
don't,
She's just. It's only because you want to be naked again. I know.
I did that last night. I don't usually have a bath in the morning. Otherwise, it takes too long to get going in the morning.
Yeah, too relaxed.
I like to be organised in the mornings.
Yeah.
But at the minute, for a lot of people, they're looking at what they can't have that they usually have. I'd like to see people think about what they could have less of. Because if we did that, then there's enough for everybody. Because as TV goes and as most of the adverts go, they always want us to have more of something. And when we really sit down and think about it, half the time we don't actually need that something. So we could start off by just thinking of one or two things that we normally buy because we think we need them at Christmas, but just ask ourselves, do you really need it? Are you really going to use it? Because just by doing those simple steps, if you begin to incorporate that in your life, you'll realise just how many things you actually buy that you don't need. Because it's very easy in this modern world to get caught up on a whim of what we think we need.
Without a doubt. Do you know, I remember being in the supermarket. This is not like on whims, but I was in the supermarket and the last time in Morrison's, and I looked at the shelves and I was like, oh, I need to get myself, I've run out of. And I used to get the cordial that went into my sparkling water, like, even though it was quite good in a natural kind of stuff. And I thought, do I need that? Actually, I might whinge that I don't like the taste of water, but like everything else I've ever done, if I just keep doing it, it will change. So do I need that? And I decided not to. And I thought to myself as I was going through the supermarket, I think you do get a moment when, I know we're asking people to think about letting go of things and what are they going to put down, and indeed what don't they need for Christmas. But I think we know when we've made a decision, right? I can think about things for ages, but I know I'm not going to do anything about them. I know that's the truth. I know, we know. But I'll tell you what, that day in that supermarket, I knew I had made the decision that I was not going to buy juice to go in water again, ever. That was it. I wasn't going to do it. And I haven't. I've bought sparkling water that's flavoured with lemon or whatever, but I've not gone and bought cordial again. And I made the decision. And I think that when we let go of something, or we decide we don't want to eat to excess or whatever it is that we're talking about. And whenever I think about Christmas and excess, I think about Iceland, and I think about the Iceland kind of party food table. And I think actually 99% of the food on that table shouldn't be eaten anyway, let alone shouldn't be there to that excess. You know, do we actually need 42 mince pies? No, we don't. But I've been guilty of it, and not eating 42, but you know what I mean. I've been guilty of it. I've been guilty of excess, and I think we all are. But I think it just makes a personal decision about what it is you want to let go of this year, without guilt. Then,
I would like to read out the blog that I'm putting out shortly in a couple of minutes when we've finished having a chat.
Yeah,
and the basic picture is, in the centre is a heart, and there's a Christmas tree, and there's a Christmas table, and there's part of the world with a tree growing off of it. And what I've put at the top of the picture is helping the planet by eating less. What does the heart is where it starts? Why talk about the heart? This is what keeps you well. How well it works is what keeps your blood moving around your body. What does this have to do with Christmas and the planet and food? Everything comes from this planet. The presents, the food on the table, the tree are from this planet. To help the earth to heal and help you to help the planet by buying less. Because if we all do some simple things a little bit less, there is more than enough for all of us. And yes, I'm not saying we shouldn't make sure that we've got a backup or something. But anyone who goes shopping now or realise, and I was talking about this with James yesterday, when you go out shopping, you might have a favourite type of tin soup or whatever it is, and you can't find it. This is showing you what the shortages are. If you want to make sure you're safe and secure, then talk to your MP, discourage building on greenbelt land, because we need to start producing more at home. That applies to anywhere in the world. We need to produce at source, not from halfway across the world, because we're not going to, not all countries are capable of buying their way out of trouble. And it's going to get harder for England to buy themselves out of trouble. So if we all do that simple thing, it costs us nothing to do. It has a knock-on effect on making you feel better. You feel good because you've taken action. You feel good because you probably haven't thrown away as much. One of the simple things to do is discourage shops like Tesco's and a lot of the big stores from saying buy a kilo bag of carrots unless you're actually going to use that. I reckon I could say 99% of people that buy that because it's 50p, but 85% of that ends up in the bin. So there's just some simple ideas where we can feel good by taking action. And it doesn't cost us anything to do either. It's not hurting your pocket. It's helping the planet. And it might mean that somebody else has something that they wouldn't have. So what special thing can everyone do? It's Monday today. We're leading up to Christmas. What one special gift can you do for you and the planet? And I'm going to hand over to James.
Thanks, Alexia. I'm gonna let James carry on that conversation with you. But thank you for everything and for helping me think about what I'm gonna let go of this Christmas and what I'm not gonna do to excess and how little we actually need. And because of course it's all about each other, it's not about the stuff and things. Thanks for that. James, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'm having a lovely breakaway just to catch up with friends and visit new friends that I've never visited before. So it's lovely to be here at Alexia's and be able to throw a ball all over the house with our little friend here, who's actually really calm at the moment, which is great. Al, is actually not making too much noise, which is unusual, but that's a good thing because it means I can concentrate on what I want to say. And when you talk about lifting your voice, I know in January, for a brief moment after I slipped and cracked my C4, my C5, when I finally got home from the hospital, and I was so grateful to everyone at the NHS in Salford Royal, what they did for me, and all the responders and everybody within that rallied round me for those 10 days until I was able to escape their incredible emergency facilities and the care that I was under at the spinal trauma unit. I was able to get home, and the first thing I did was I cleared my chalkboard and wrote stickmen on it, drew some stickmen on it of where the place of my arm was, which was resting down on my hip. I could not physically lift my left hand arm any higher than a small bug at the side of my hip. Really, it could barely move. And as I was drawing these, I said to myself, "This is not acceptable. This." And then straight away, I said, "No, this language with myself is not acceptable. Reframe that and say that I can make this better." And so set my goals to move forward from that, because I know some of the dark places where I've been before, and I'm looking here at a brown mat, and it says "I'm the boss," and it's referring to a dog, and it's not referring to someone that was treated like a dog, where they was kept on a lead, and anyway, they got released, and that was really nice that this brown dog mat that I'm looking at that says "I'm the boss" on it, that I'm no longer there, and it reminds me of a really nice Lithuanian song that I've been learning recently, Alenka. And if you know that language, you'll know that it's a lovely song. But it sounds like Kalenka to me when I sing it. So that could be something that's attached to you that you can't get rid of. But it's not a clinker. It's left me now because I've made it move away, and they made me move away. But the choices was beautiful with that, where it all went, because it wasn't the right place for me to be. And other people, well, they were quite happy with their lot there, so that's perfectly fine. But it's all about, for me, is reframing my language and moving forward, because I've got some wonderful cycling projects on the go at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm actually taking a break from them until Thursday. So
good.
I'm able to just really relax and refresh. And
nice.
Having said that, I'm sleeping on an airbed. I've still got 8.1 monthly average sleep hours per night.
Fantastic.
So it's something I really am aiming hard at, is to get up just a little bit more for the new year. It will be the food schedule of the thorough planning of all my food inputs, because I know that you can't do everything instantly all at once. You've got to make those small changes, and I'm loving where you're going, MJ, with these. I've donated other parcels of things to great friends, and I see some people are looking really good in certain jumpers, which is really nice. And I know it's great that these Christmas jumpers are about, because it lifts people's spirits. You don't have to buy a brand new one.
No.
There are some incredible charity shops out there that always have really good priced Christmas jumpers.
They do.
And my shop has really good priced pre-loved bicycles at the moment.
Exactly.
The tree's up, and I'm going to start advertising all of our pre-loved bicycles for Christmas, so that we can get more people on affordable bikes, and they can have some fun next year cycling about.
Proud of you.
That's me done with the fun this morning. I'm going to ring the bell and let Terry move on into the room. And thanks for everything you keep doing in support for me with your wonderful team down there, MJ, because I've had some difficulties, and you guys have been you've been my safety net. So I'm really grateful to everyone over the years that's helped me, and the people that are helping me to this day as well. So it's a lovely journey we're on at the moment. Thank you so much.
I love seeing what you're doing and how you're evolving. What's happened in Wigan is amazing. I've got a gentleman we're going to meet very shortly from Wigan together that I think that'll help. Collaboration.
Speaking with the microphone off.
There we are. I was speaking to you online, but not actually on Clubhouse. There you go. There's a Freudian slit, or is that just a? It's not very often that I slide into not miking these days. It seems to be something that is a previous habit, but we're always good at making mistakes again. So that just keeps you on your toes. Yeah, thanks, James. What I was saying was I love seeing the way that your cycling project is going forward. The fact that you've connected with this one, and we're going to have a meeting soon with somebody from Wigan who also has another project. I think collaboration and lifting each other's voices together is key. And when we can do that with each other and for each other, well, we're winning. And I'm looking forward to 2025 even more than I have enjoyed 2024 in your progress. It's been amazing. Terry, how are you, my love?
Morning.
Good morning, my darling. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit rough at the minute. I've got an infection, and obviously it just has its impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to sort of touch on actually a bit of what Alexia was saying about the food situation and stuff like that. I use food banks to help. And actually what I then do is items from the food banks that I then don't like or can't think I'm not going to use that in time, or I actually then pass on. So I'm making sure that, it just gets used and that, you haven't got it just for the sake of having it. So yeah, when I was quite intrigued, like when Alexa was saying things like that, it just made, it sort of touched me, and I thought actually, I think we are quick to overlook, especially at Christmas, because we want everything, don't we? We think that we need it, and actually, reality is it's still sitting there in January because you haven't used it. So
very true, very, very true. I think that being mindful of.
Were you saying 2 bikes?
Sorry?
There were 2 bikes or bang? Sorry. I didn't understand because there's some background noise. You were saying 2 bicycles?
No, he said he uses food banks. Food banks.
Okay.
A food bank, Ariel.
Okay,
A food bank.
Okay.
No, sorry, a food bank. Yeah, bank using
Understood.
food and making sure that he's reusing the food. That's right, isn't it, Terry?
Yes, sorry, apologies. I couldn't quite figure. I thought someone had sort of unmiked and not realised. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just my accent. So, yeah, I use food banks, which is where you can go and also get some support. But actually, another thing that I'm an advocate of is Olio, OLIO, and that's an app where you get surplus food. So supermarkets donate this surplus food to this particular program, and what this program then does is actually then gives it to other people. So you basically say, "Oh, well, I would like that," and that actually then saves waste. And also, you're only going to request what you're minimum of what you're allowed, or maximum what you're allowed. So again, that's another way of helping.
Yeah.
So I'm just an advocate of things. And then just the last one is Too Good to Go. Again, I don't know if anyone's heard of them, but the idea with that one is you pay something like £2.50 for an example, and you will get £13 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Again, it's from shops. I mean, like, for example, Harvester, I think it's like maybe £4.29, and you get a half roast chicken and a salad bowl. So again, it's just things that, you know, you can think about and use.
Too right. That means that we're not wasting them, they're not going into landfill, and we're not wasting the planet's resources, and we're saving money at the same time. Thanks for those.
No worries. As I say, as soon as Alexa said it, it just sort of made me realise, well, hang on, you know, that there are other things out there.
There are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terry. It's good to see you, and it's good to hear you. And you see, we're better together because then we put information together and we provide people real information that might make a real difference to their Christmas. Thank you, Terry.
Exactly. Thank you.
No, thank you. Shaman, good morning. Oh, Julian, you were mic'd. Do you need to go and get washed? Or have you just done mic'd accidentally?
No, it's just on my screen. I was next.
Oh, hang on. Let me look. Oh, yeah, you are. You are now. Pull to refresh. Go for it. Good morning.
I can't believe you've still got your antlers on.
Why not?
And I realised it was you.
Yeah, I'm wearing my antlers on LinkedIn and on Twitch and on Twitter. Because if you're going to get over yourself, you've got to get over yourself, Ju.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to go all in, right?
You certainly go all in.
Day 32 of 55. You're not telling me you're not getting a little tiny bit excited about Christmas now.
I am.
I can do it. 23 days to go. Sorry, darling.
There's no excitement, no reason. I'm excited.
You're exciteless.
Yeah.
It's a good word, but are you not excited about Santa Parks yet?
That is starting to create a dilemma.
I see, it's a little spark, that's all it takes. We fan those flames.
I tell you one thing, I'm thinking present at the moment.
Thinking presents.
What can I get? 3 kids.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't know anything. I guess the thing I think about is something that reminds them of whatever you're getting it for. So if it's for Christmas this year, maybe, I don't know, something that reminds them of Christmas this year. If you want them to remember you at Christmas this year, I don't know. One of those baubles that they can put on the tree. Maybe have a look online and see if there's something on, I don't know, Etsy or eBay or whatever, where they put a kid's name on the bauble or something like that. Have a look at not on the high street, although it's quite expensive, but eBay. There's lots of crafters that do nice things. I think a Christmas bauble that my kids love, but they ended up with about 8 each. Like they were like, "Where are my baubles?" So yeah, literally started off with one with a name on, and then one got with an angel, and then one got with a tree on it with its name on, and then they changed the name, so it meant that they got all new ones. Like what? Yeah, so then the named baubles became quite good for Christmas presents because they got excited about getting their own baubles, and then some of them had more than the others, so I'd make sure they had baubles, so they all had the same amount of baubles to dress the Christmas tree with, which made our tree always look quite eclectic. But to be honest, they loved it.
Like
Oh.
an ornament?
Yeah, it's a thing that you hang on the Christmas tree, a round thing.
Right, we call it ornaments.
Yeah, they call them baubles here. So there we are. Yeah, they are ornaments or a generic thing, but yeah, those things that you hang on the Christmas tree. So maybe one of them, do. Yeah, oh, we know. Yeah, that's just an idea. I'm sure there's hundreds of others. Other people might come up with one. Yeah, so there we are. You're on presents. But it's not about whether you buy presents, Stu. It's just about your presents. Huh?
Interesting play on words.
It was accidental, I assure you. It's true. It's just about you being there. I'm not gonna go, oh yeah, that was one I pulled out. It just came out. It wasn't deliberate. However interesting my play on words was. I just thought, actually, it's about you being there because we love you. That's it.
And I love you.
Oh, we're having a good morning. Hey, how are you?
Get a room. Get a room.
You get a room. How are you, darling? Come on, you can have mic now. It's your turn.
Okay. No, so I'm in a hotel.
Oh, good.
Not far from my house, where the lobby has hold on, I'm using it to hotspot. I'm using my phone to hotspot my laptop, so I'm gonna just turn that off, and now my phone will work. Because it was using my phone for my laptop, and I'll walk outside the lobby. There's a lot of hotels here because I'm less than a mile from the ocean, and it's a cold, probably 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which it's so funny. I mean, I have not been down in Florida that long, but it hits 80 degrees and we're putting on wool sweaters. It's so fun. I grew up in Michigan, where my family's from Minnesota, where they plug in their tires at night so the rubber doesn't freeze. And this is the first year in my life I've never seen this where we don't have seasons. And it's so weird until I realized that you're not going to even believe this, that the iguanas were all gone. And because you see them everywhere, these huge green iguanas, and they hibernate. They go climb in the trees, they hibernate, and then sometimes they lose their hold and they just fall out of the trees and like break people's windshields and stuff. And so there are all these hotels here, and they have these beautiful lobbies. You could pay for internet, which I didn't do, and lots of plugs, lots of couches, lots of like nice, chairs with the proper seating. And I don't know about you, but I'm very good at doing other people's stuff and not so good at doing my own. It's a very they call it people sometimes will do what they call body doubling. Like, I'll open your mail and pay your bills if you do mine.
Yeah.
In fact, I used to have a deal with a guy who would come on Clubhouse a lot, Manly. I'm blanking out. I haven't been here since I got injured. Actually, I have an undiagnosed for the current moment. Hopefully by next week or 2 weeks it'll be diagnosed. But an undiagnosed real concussion. In the spring I fell, cracked 4 ribs and punctured my lung. They were worried enough about my lung that they never even gave me a baseline MRI. My memory loss back then. And I can't remember like basic things sometimes. It's terrifying. I forgot that I'm not 18 anymore, but I'm 52 when I went rollerblading. Because everyone says exercise for mental health, right? Anyway, I did, by the way, play for public high school in Detroit, which is a icy town, varsity ice hockey. So
rollerblading a couple blocks away to a yard sale was not like some crazy, like baseboarding off a cliff type of activity. It should have been okay. But it had rained and there was like some sand, and I basically lost my foot and fell literally backwards. And because my brother's a surgeon, he got me like no care whatsoever for like 2 hours. He thought he'd be fine, he'd be hypochondriac. And when I got to the hospital, when my ex-wife took me to drop me off, I should say, at the hospital, so they did the chest X-ray. They gave me 2 IVs simultaneously, and then put a 16-inch chest needle in with 2 monstrous nurses standing on either side, ready to hold me down if I flinched. And I only missed going to my daughter's wedding by a 45-hour train by like a day, and was able to fly. It's crazy. So, they were really worried about the lung, and the head got left behind. Also, my ex-wife, because my name can be, a Little Mermaid or an Israeli general, she decided to call the state of New Jersey at one point and tell them that I moved to Florida long before I did. I only came here because she legally moved here with my kids. And she told them that I moved and I lost my health insurance last November as a result of that. And so I only got health insurance back like a few weeks ago. There's also a massive shortage of some of the meds I take, like nationwide, to the point where like you openly are discussing going to like drug areas and buying them illegally. I mean, I had pharmacists tell me like, for Adderall, oh well, maybe you should go to go buy it where it's try to get it where there's no universities. Try to find a pharmacy with no universities nearby. In some states, you can only get it through an electronic script, and the pharmacies won't tell you what other pharmacies have it. And if you think about that, it takes like 2 days to get the doctor to change the thing, and then you're changing it blind because you don't know if they even have it. On one day, like the last 2 days, I called 25 pharmacies. So right now, I'm illegally getting my New Jersey doctor, who's not legally allowed to write out of state a controlled substance, but she's writing it anyways. And then my daughter, who's now a nurse practitioner, and she just graduated from being a nurse after delivering 450 babies. She picks it up and ships it to me. It's just crazy. They make you a junkie, I just wanted to. I wanted to say there were 2 things I wanted to say. One is that I need some bike advice, and I know that is available around here usually. This is why I asked that. But I also wanted to just make a quick comment on the food pantry if I can. I'll be real quick, I promise. I can't get the food stamps in around here because it's done by the states, and they won't say that I'm a state resident or anything like that. I've been involved both on the user side and the bringing side because I've been working in the food industry, like in New Jersey, and I've seen some incredible things, like in luxury neighborhoods where you go up a driveway, click numbers in a driveway door, and there's fridges with all prepared foods from the grocery stores at the end of the day that they would just throw out. Or, for example, similar, but it's literally like going to a grocery store, and they have the appointment set up so that you don't see anybody else, so they keep it very modest. Or another one where everyone in the community gets it, whether they need it or not, so that there's no state up, in most creative ways. And so I just wanted to say, because it's very hard to ask for that type of help, and nobody should ever feel hungry because of it. And look, I made millions of dollars, and I did, and here I am. I'm doing it, and some days it sucks, but you got to survive. You got to do what you got to do. So I am complete. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, thank you.
Last thing, Laura Parrish, who has changed my life and been very influential on Clubhouse for 4 years, she tapes one of her shows every year. He's every single night at 1 a.m., which is when you start. And on either the 12th or 14th, she'll hit her 4-year anniversary of every single night.
Wow.
And I know Pete knows her and all these people. I highly encourage anybody to come. It is an incredible room about gratitude with a very strict format. She's an incredible person. I got my psychologist from there, a 93-year-old woman who runs a drug addiction clinic. I mean, it's just out of control.
Yeah.
I'm complete.
That's amazing. Yeah, I would encourage people to go and support that kind of commitment. 4 years every night. I know how difficult it is just doing a 55-day challenge. So my hat off to her. And it sounds like you are getting somewhere. If it's not where you want to be right now, you're getting towards where you want to go at least. It's good to hear you and it's good to see you here. We're after 7 o'clock, but we're not going to finish there because we have Charmin on the stage and I'm grateful to see her here. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Ming. I've missed you. It's good to see you, Jay and James. Thanks for coming. Do not ever feel like you have to come up, but always feel like you can. So, Charmin, how are you this morning?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I was ill. I got that disgusting flu virus thing that was going around. Knocked me off my feet for a week.
I bet.
And then my son caught it.
Oh.
But this weekend, my little boy turned 16. Well, he's not a little boy anymore. He's taller than me. And a deeper voice. So, yeah, my little blessing keeps me going and makes me broke. And yeah, I am looking forward to Christmas. My son was here a minute ago while everybody was talking, and I said, "Are we going Christmas to London?" And he's got a thing called urticaria. So my mum's 80 in a couple of weeks' time, so she likes the heating on, and she's Caribbean, and so she wants the house hot, and that really my son can't cope with that. So he said to me, "I don't think I really want to go down for Christmas.
Yeah.
Grandma needs to come to us." I said, "Yeah, but our house is cold and Grandma can't cope with that either." So it looks like we're not going Christmas to London. I'm not organised. I am wearing my Christmas jumpers. Because in a previous job I worked in a school, so I started buying Christmas jumpers. I never used to before that.
Yeah.
Now I need to start thinking about food. But grocery stores, those where I work for a charity 3 days a week, there's a grocery store. There's the building, we rent a room out of a building, an organisation that does community stuff. And they got a community shop. And because we're a charity and we're there, they said that, you could become a member. So for £5 a year membership, you can go in and do bits of that. I can get 12 items for £5, which is pretty good. And getting fruit and vegetables in as well, So they get a lot of deliveries from Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
On certain days, they get some really nice stuff on the whole. It's helped me because I think we're all in the same boat. It's a bit expensive at the moment. And I've got a son that eats me out of house and home. So
yeah, I think it is. I think everyone's feeling the pinch, right?
Yeah. So but yeah, all is well, and I'm learning to cook, to use what I've got in my freezer as much as possible before I go and buy more stuff, and then not use things, which is not good. And I don't like chucking out food. I feel really bad about chucking away food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a reminder, isn't it? It's good. It's a reminder. When we get a reminder, the guilt, guilt's a bit, it's no point in blaming shame to ourselves because we're not going to fix it that way. But I think accepting that we can move forward and make a change, I think that's a good positive step, isn't it?
Yeah. About 20 years ago, my mum stopped buying like tons of food for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like all the family comes together
Yeah.
And we would have about 20 people for dinner, but we just really cut it back to the things that people enjoyed. So nobody liked turkey. One year we had a turkey, nobody touched it.
No, what's the point of that?
And so we don't do turkey. But
Exactly.
my women and I like turkey legs. So I'm going to go to Marks and Spencer and see if I find some turkey legs.
Yeah, it's a choice, and then you choose, and actually, whether you're ready or you're not, Christmas is one day actually. So you're actually waking up to say thanks for being born, Jesus. Bye. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not actually about much else, to be honest. And each other, and if you're together and you're all right to be grateful that you're all alive, I think that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about family time.
It is.
And so we were,
So you are ready. You're always ready because you've got your family.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
And we'll see how it all goes. But yeah.
All right. Well, it's lovely to see you, and thank you everybody else for being here. It is after 7 o'clock. I am still live on LinkedIn and Twitch and Twitter and somewhere else as well, YouTube, I think. So I'm going to be going bye-byes, and I just want to say that we talked about allyship, but from a different perspective today. Today we talked about allyship from being your own ally, from actually making space within you to have an acceptance that is beyond that which you've got already. I likened it to when you're in a carol service and you're with a lot of different people, maybe different colours, different creeds, different ages, different stages, different abilities, all sorts of differences, and we smile around and are grateful for our differences. Maybe if we just apply that outside of those settings, and I'm sure for all of you that feel that you're inclusive, just think also about just how inclusive are you. When I asked somebody the other day if they were to be known as she, they, she, her, they said, no, I am she, her, they, them, and occasionally he. Make your choice and then just mix it up a bit. So we can be whatever we want to be, and we should be allowed to be fair, unless it's going to be hurting you. And if it isn't hurting you, a bit like that comment I made on the internet about somebody moaning about somebody having a tattoo. If it's not hurting you, move on, scroll on. Try not to be too unkind this month. I think that if we can focus on being kind to ourselves, being accepting of others, and then of just trying to get together, I think really that would be what Christmas would be about for me. So let's lift our voices together as we are, where we are, and in a way that helps us all know that we are loved and seen and valued and heard and relevant. Have the best week ever. And if it isn't the best week, make it as good as it's going to be, because it can be, but only if you put your mind to it. It is your mind and your heart. So that's what I've done this week. I've set myself up with Motivational Monday. We're back tonight in Inclusion at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, we are in Belonging in Business on Saturdays at 8 as well. And I've got to say that the rundown to Christmas is phenomenal. And if you didn't listen to Saturday, I'm just going to say it again. Go back to MJ's and listen to Saturday morning's room. It is pure gold. Have a great week, everybody. And I hope you're looking forward to your Christmas, whatever you're managing to do, turkey legs or deciding you've got enough. It's all about you. So go and make your choices. Lots of love. Have a good week. Bye, 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 bye.